Good morning, guys. Let's open the advent calendar. Hey guys, how are you? It's Codemas Day 5 and we will be doing no coding today because I want to talk about some myths there are regarding getting a job as a developer. Myth number 1 is that you need to master language. You do not need to master language and learn all its kinks, especially if this language is JavaScript. All you need is to have some good understanding of the language, of its syntax and how it's used, the best practices, but what's most important is to have what I call an algorithmic way of thinking, which means basically being able to break down a problem into smaller problems and solve those. And this is something you cannot learn by learning a language. This is a skill that needs constant improvement, especially if you're planning to work for a company and you're not doing this for a hobby. So this is one part. The second part is that I have seen that many people get into a tutorial loop. They do not feel confident that they have learned the language and they keep doing tutorials and even more tutorials and classes, certificates, and they do not sit down, put an idea on paper, write down what they want to build and break it into smaller components, let's say smaller problems, and put the idea into paper. You don't need fancy programs, just break down an idea and start working on it. Start getting practical experience on the language. Because yes, a tutorial will help you to learn the language, but it will not help you to learn how to solve problems by yourself. So yes, learn the documentation, learn the language, and yes, even take a couple of courses, but not fall onto this trap of taking courses over and over. So the second myth is that you need experience to get a job. This is basically not true. All you need is to build your own experience. And what I mean by that is that a potential employer will want you to showcase that, hey, I can do this and this and this, and I can actually prove it because I have contributed. And now that I mentioned contributions, it is a must. If you have no experience yet, no professional experience I mean, it is very important to contribute on open source projects. Go on GitHub, find an open source project and start contributing on it. The second thing you can do is to start your own projects. Build something. It is important to have something to show to the employer. So build an alarm clock, build a calculator, build a simple game, I don't know, whatever you prefer. But have something to show. This is what is important. And on that note, it is also very, if not most important, to have your own portfolio website. I have met with many developers who do not have their personal website. Even if you're not looking for a job, it is a must to have your own website. So on to myth number 3. Over the years I have met with some people who think that if you're a badass developer, you can get a job guaranteed. This is not true. Yes, you can be the best developer, but you're going to have a very hard time if you do not have what they are called soft skills. It is more important to be able to communicate with your team and be a decent developer than be the best developer in the world but not be able to talk with your team and get angry easily or even swear. I don't know, you get the point. Myth number 4. Many people think they are too old to start or too old to get a new job. Actually, many successful people started late in their lives. It's only late if you don't pursue it enough, and yes, it's gonna be hard, but it's not impossible. I'm saying this for people that over 40, because if you're under 30, you're not old. I started working as a freelancer at 23 and got my first job at a company at 25. No university degree, I'm self-taught. because in the end, if you love what you do and you really want it and work hard to get it, you will get it. Since I mentioned about me being self-taught, let's talk about myth number 5. There are many people who still think that you need a degree to find a job as a developer. In most cases, this is not true, especially if you are talking about web development. You can take an online course or a bootcamp, or even just read the official documentation of the language you want to learn, but this is not a stopper. You do not need to have a degree to get a job, but yes, it is important to have one if you can get it, because there are some things that university students learn over the course of their studies that cannot be learned if you are learning by yourself. It's gonna be more difficult. So yeah, take into consideration what we said before, and if you have something to showcase, or even if you have previous experience, it's gonna give you a boost. That's all guys, those were the 5 most common myths. I want your thoughts on those. Are you self-taught or do you have a degree? Do you agree with what I said, or there are some things you disagree with me on? Let's have a discussion in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.